So the rumor mill is swirling, and apparently there is a high performance ONN streaming box coming out later in 2024. I've spent my fair share of time telling people how much I dislike this device, but I've kind of changed my opinion a little bit. There's just so many of you that like it, and I get comments all the time from people telling me that I have no idea what I'm talking about on this device. So we're here to make amends, and I want to go over 5 of my favorite features on the ONN streaming box that you might not know exist. And when I have more information on the upcoming ONN streaming box, you know I'll be doing a video on it, so hit that subscribe button right down below to stay updated. So let's get into number 1, and this might be a part, if you're subscribed to this channel, you might want to skip. But if you're not, you might know that you can install apps outside of the Google Play Store pretty easily. Because the ONN streaming box is an Android-based device, any Android APK will work on it. So let's go over how to do that in a few simple steps.
Okay, so let's get started with the process of installing apps not from the Google Play Store, and it's actually really easy. Head to the App Store and search up Downloader. It's the bright orange app you see here. Go ahead and click on it and install it. Now, Downloader is basically just a web browser that also downloads and prompts installs at the same time, just making it cut out a step of the usual process. What I want you to do is go to the search bar right here and type in code 773820. This is just a shortcutted URL that brings you directly to my website. A little bit easier than typing in the complete thing. Now, you don't have to use my website, but it's just an example so you guys can get the process started. One thing I do suggest doing is going to those 3 lines at the very top right of the screen, click on it, and add the current page to favorites. This way, at any time, you can go over to the left-hand side here, click on favorites, and my website will be there, just a little bit quicker again. Now, in this case, I have Tubi TV that I'm gonna install. It's just an ad-supported app. It's completely free and legal, so we're gonna go with this one. Scroll down until you find the big download button on the next page. I always make them look like this, so it's completely the same every single time. And now this will automatically prompt the install, so you can click install as soon as it pops up. Now, if it's your first time installing it, you may have to click settings. It may pop up and say settings, and it will bring you to an option where it says allow unknown installs. This will allow you to check off downloader. You guys will see what I mean if you get that screen. If that happens, you may just have to restart this process one time, but you only have to do that once. So if you've done it once, you're good to go. But that's it. A super easy way to install apps that aren't in the Google Play Store, or maybe that you can't get in there. Now, number 2 is a hidden setting that not a lot of people know how to unlock. But inside of it has a ton of different ways to improve the performance and speed of your ONN streaming box and stick. And that's developers options. Now, to get to this, we just have to do a few simple steps that I'm going to teach you right now. So you want to head over to the little gear in the top right. This is just the settings section. Scroll down until you find system and then click on about. Now you want to scroll down until you find Android TV OS build. Yours might say something a little bit different, but just hover over top of it. And now click on it 5 to 7 times until it says you're a developer. You can see I'm already a developer, so it's telling me not to click on it anymore. Now, if you click back one screen and scroll down in systems, you're now going to see developer options. And there's a few things I want to show you about this. There's honestly so many settings in here that I can't go over them all in this short little video, but I do want to show you some of my favorite ones. And one thing I'll say is make sure you remember what you changed, just in case it messes something up. You can come back and change it, other than resetting your box to fix the problem. So the first one I recommend changing are these animator duration scale, and there's also the window animation scale and stuff like that. And this is basically the transition. So when we click back, you see how that screen is like slowly transitioning. That's just a bit of a design, but it does kind of slow things down. Not actually, but it slows down the process of moving screen to screen. So if you click on animator duration scale, I want to show you what happens when we put it at 5x. Watch this. You see how slow that window is closing right there? So now let's put it back to 1x. Check this out right here. Look at how quick that is. What I suggest doing is just turning it off. That means you'll instantly move menu to menu without having that transition. And that's same with the other 2. I suggest turning them off. It just makes things a little bit quicker when you're moving in and out of your device if you don't care about all those little frills that are added to it. Now, the next one is background process limit. Now, this is the amount of apps that can run and do processes in the background while you're using it. And I suggest setting this to 3. I find that's a sweet spot. It's not the max amount, but it's not the lowest amount. It means a certain amount of apps can run in the background before they start closing them or not allowing them to run. This should, in theory, increase your device a little bit if you don't close your apps often. And I'm honestly not sure what the standard limit means, so I don't know if that's less or more than 3, but this is the number I like to go with on my devices. Now, this is one I suggest playing around with, but if you have potentially a USB plugged in or an external hard drive, this option allows you to force allow apps on your external hard drive and to be written on it. That way you can leave a little bit more space on your device at the very least.
So before I teach you how to fix that cluttered home screen on your Onn streaming box, I want to take a minute and talk about our sponsors, IPVanish. Now, anytime I personally fire up apps such as this, or even this one, I love to throw on IPVanish. Now, the reason for this is pretty simple. If you don't already know, your internet service provider, whether it's Comcast or Shaw like we have in Canada, they track what you do online and they keep that on file. Now with IPVanish, it's basically going to put your data through their servers, which then goes to your internet service provider, masking what you're doing. And I think you can see this is probably super beneficial. The best part is they also have a no-log policy, which means they don't keep any of your data on their servers whatsoever. Now, if you're interested in giving them a try, I have the link down below in the description where you can get over 75% off. Plus, you have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so if you don't enjoy it, go ahead and cancel it within 30 days and get all of your money back. This is one of the many ways that I'm able to continue to do my job. So if you appreciate the content and you appreciate the video, a great way to support the channel is by purchasing through them. So I get a nice little kickback and I do really appreciate it from you guys. So for number 3, I'm gonna show you how to turn your home screen into a custom home screen where you can also create separate folders to keep your apps organized. I'm not a huge fan of the Google TV interface. I think it's very cluttered compared to both the NVIDIA Shield and the Fire Stick.
So if you skipped step number 1, where I already went over Downloader and how to get to my site, I suggest going back so you can meet us right here. But you're just gonna have to have my same code put in or go to your favorites where I showed you how to save it. Go ahead and go to my website. Now scroll down until you find the NVIDIA Shield and Android TV apps. This is the category we want right here. You want to select Wolf Launcher APK 0.1.9. Again, scroll down until you find the big download button, click on it, and follow the prompts and install it, or in my case, it's asking to update it. So go ahead and do that. Now, Wolf Launcher is an app that allows you to customize your home screen. So think of it as a bit of a replacement home screen, where all your apps are neatly organized. There is no ads in the background, there's no moving pictures, none of that. Everything is just cleaned up and looks super crisp. But one feature I really like is making categories. So for example, if we wanted to create a folder like I did here for streaming, where we can just go in and select our streaming apps, hold down the OK button on your remote, scroll until you find create folder, and then in here we can just type a name for it. I consider IPVanish a pretty useful app, so that's what we're gonna put it into. If you want as well, you can password protect it. That way you can keep your kids or anybody else you don't want into that folder out of it with a password. It's a really useful feature. Now we can also configure our different apps and change thumbnail banners. We can change the border radius so the app looks larger. And even on some of them, we can update the icon, title, or background as well. You also have the ability to put on separate wallpapers, hide apps, hide status bars, add status bars, and so much more. So this app has way too much for me to go over in this short little video. It's super useful and there's a ton of different launchers, so feel free to Google online and try to find a launcher that works for you. So I know most of my subscribers really enjoy their privacy and they don't like a lot of their information being out in the open. And that's where number 4 comes in. Now, most devices have something called an advertiser ID where it tracks things such as things you search, you look up, and things you come across that you seem interested in. And this gives companies the ability to better target ads to you so you get kind of pushed into buying stuff more often. So I want to show you how to delete and reset your advertiser ID just in case you're getting some funky ads that you don't like. Now we're going to head over to settings again, go to the privacy category and scroll down until you find ads. Now inside this section, you can either delete your current advertiser ID so you don't get any more personalized weird ads. Maybe you're getting some really weird stuff you don't want anymore. And then you can also reset your advertising ID. Now this generates a new advertising ID that apps can use from now on. So if you want apps to no longer use this advertising ID to show you personalized ads, you can completely delete it, or you can just reset it to show a brand new one. Now there's other things such as location services, which some apps require, but I know some people don't like that. So there's always an option to turn that off as well. If you really want to stick it to Google, I guess you can also turn off usage and diagnostics, although in theory, this should actually help them improve your performance over time by getting information on things that might not be working. So you might want to keep that. And the last thing while we're here is manage updates. And it's in the same privacy category. So I thought we would just go over it. Turning off auto updates is actually a good thing. Now, Google Play apps will automatically update when a new version comes in and you have your device like on sleep mode or it's turned on. Turning it off means that if there's a new version that's glitched or you don't want the new version, maybe it's a new layout, you can avoid that. You can go through and change apps and update them as you please by going into this section here and just simply clicking on the ones you do want to update. Now there's one hidden menu on your Onn Streaming box that I'm convinced nobody ever goes into. Because the layout of the settings is so bad, sometimes it's hard to find what you're actually looking for. And this menu is hidden so well that I didn't know about it for the longest time, and it has some really useful features that if you don't want to use the Wolf launcher that I showed you earlier, this will still fix some of the problems. So now this is how we get to it. Head back to settings, of course. You want to go until you find accounts and sign in. And then when you hover over top of your current user, click to the right. Now this menu, I am convinced nobody knows about because I didn't even know it was here for the longest time. One of the really cool things you can do in here is settings lock, where you can lock your settings so nobody can change and mess around with them. It's a really cool feature. You'll have to authenticate to view or change any account settings going forward. There's also something called content preferences, where you can either less like or more like a TV show so they better recommend things to you. I like Chuck, it was a good show, we give it a thumbs up. I like The Walking Dead. I like Before 90 Days. Oh, Adam Project, terrible. So it's a really cool little feature where they help create more curated recommendations for you. Now, autoplay trailers are going to get rid of those annoying trailers that sometimes you get in your main menu. That way you're not seeing video and you're just seeing still pictures instead. I usually almost always turn those off. Now, this last one is apps only mode, and this is going to really clean up your front menu so you don't have all those Google recommendation sections that are using up a lot of area. So we can turn this on and look how different our front menu is going to look after. Check this out. We just have our apps all listed right here. Way cleaner. Instead of having to have everything else unorganized, it's just one section with all your apps, nothing else. Now remember, we can turn this off at any point. It even tells you here you can adjust it in settings, account sign in. So if you want to turn it off, go ahead and do it and you can get back to the other categories. But this is just a great way to simplify the process. A little bit like using Wolf Launcher, but you can't do all that other stuff. So thank you guys for checking out today's video. If you enjoyed it, let me know down below in the comments. And if I missed anything where you think there's a feature that I should have included, again, let me know and I'll be sure to do it in another video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.